What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with our Outpost, and today we have some more news about Joker. Obviously, he's still killing at the box office, and we'll get to those numbers in a little bit. This is more kind of going over something that Todd Phillips came for, so I'll just get to it right now. Joker director Todd Phillips knows what's real and what Arthur imagined, but he's not telling. Obviously, Todd Phillips, who wrote it and directed it, would know, but yeah, absolutely. So I thought this was kind of interesting. There's obviously been so much speculation about Joker. One of the reasons it was so intriguing, obviously, other than the fact that it was just extremely well made, is the fact that so much of it was left up to interpretation. When, from what is he imagining to is this the real Joker? Like, was he? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Is that actually Thomas Wayne's son? Like, all these things that people are going back and forth discussing. One of the things that's made it had this great longevity in the box office is how intrigued people are and the discussions that follow, whether you're at work or online or whatever. So let's get into this article. Joker director Todd Phillips has a firm view on what was and wasn't imagined by a mentally ill Arthur Fleck, who emerges as Gotham City's symbol, the Joker, but the filmmaker is leaving the film up for interpretation. Like comic book counterpart of this infamous Batman villain, who in The Killing Joke claims his past is multiple choice, this Joker suffers from delusions that imagine a warm reception from Murray Franklin and a romantic relationship with next-door neighbor Sophie. On speculation, the entirety of Joker is all in the institutionalized Arthur's head. Phillips isn't resisting beliefs most of the film was fantasized. And that's one of the cool things about The Killing Joke, if you've read that before. That does go into a little bit about Joker's backstory, but he does kind of say that, it's multiple choice. But also at the end of that comic book, the last frame, you see a Batman and a Joker, and a Batman who is, like, ridiculously kind of ashamed that he's let the Joker go this far and cause all this havoc. And Joker tells a joke, and they both start laughing maniacally, and Batman kind of grabs him by the neck or the throat, and it's kind of goes down, and people stop laughing. So what happened there? It's up to your interpretation whether or not Batman killed the Joker, which is something that made it so intriguing. Now, Todd Phillips says you could read it that way. I have a firm view on it too, but yeah, you certainly could. Some saw ambiguity surrounding the fate of Sophie. Yes, when I saw that scene, like, that was kind of mind-blowing to me. The fact that when you saw that scene, you realize that all the times that she had been there, he had completely made it up. And I thought we were, like, and then he turns and looks at her, and I thought we were about to see this scene of him, like, murdering her and her child or something. And then he just storms out, and you don't know what happened. That would have been extremely dark. But it's left up to you. What do you think happened? We wanted to make the interpretation of real versus what's not real a part of the viewer's experience, said Lauren Schur. For instance, his relationship to Sophie is a fantasy. Some people have asked me, was she killed? Phillips makes it clear she wasn't killed. Arthur's killing people who have wronged him in a certain way, and Sophie never wronged him. Right. And in terms of what we did visually to plan what's real and not, there are callbacks and scenes that mirror each other. Outside of that, I like that people can have conversation and come to their own conclusions. Exactly. Phillips early told Comic.com he wanted to leave audiences questioning reality when watching the Joker because that uncertainty is part of the fun. And I do agree, and especially when you're tackling someone like Joker, which, for me, I didn't want this movie because I didn't want a Joker origin story. I wanted it to be shrouded in mystery, and the way they've done it leaves it that way. It completely leaves it that way because you don't know what's real and what's not. This is why they should not make a follow-up. I do not want a sequel to this movie. I want it left exactly the way it is. So Todd Phillips says, when Scott Silver and I sat down to write it, we knew about the comics. I don't want to say whether it's real or not because I think it's part of the fun. I've showed it to many, many different people and they all have different reactions. Some of them say, oh, I get it. I mean, the last line in the movie, you wouldn't get it. To a joke he was telling. Well, is the joke the movie? Is the joke the thing? The idea is you don't like to answer those questions because it's nice to see the different people or the different things people take away from it. So yeah, that was so cool. And so let's go ahead and take a look at Joker in the box office. This is worldwide box office. You can see Joker's number 7 so far. creeping up to 900. I do not think it's going to make it to a billion, guys. I just don't see it happening. I knew there was some people that were saying that were pretty hopeful. I would be shocked. Maybe when we ramp up here, maybe when it gets to awards season, it has another extra push or something, but I just don't see it. With no China release, like $900 million is insane. Obviously, we've talked about the #1 R-rated movie, all that kind of stuff. It's killing it, and it's still doing pretty well, but we're about to have Terminator come out, and then about to have Frozen 2 come out, I think. So it's going to get dominated by those two. Even though Terminator, I don't think is going to be very good and won't really have legs, it's still going to take up a lot of that box office attention. Frozen 2 is going to be a smash hit, of course. It's going to join, it's going to join the likes of all these other Disney movies that made over $1 billion. So it's basically what you got to do. You got to be Disney to make over $1 billion right now. But it was really interesting to see that. Todd Phillips, I think WB lucked out. Right, they let Todd Phillips do his thing, and it was remarkable in my opinion. You have this. Not only Joaquin Phoenix was a great actor, but you had this whole dichotomy of, one, it was about mental health. Two, it was clearly about classes, right, and specifically the differences in our societies. This one was between like the elites and the non-elites, so the haves and the have-nots. And whatever your perspective is on that, they didn't go really too deep into the morality necessarily of it. It was just kind of bringing some attention to it, which, there was politics in it, but it wasn't smashing you over the head and telling you one way to think. It was basically just showing people treating each other poorly, whether they're the same class or different. So I really enjoyed Joker, and I want to see it do as best it possibly can. I'm really looking forward to awards season for once. I don't think there's any way they let this movie get Best Picture. Maybe Joaquin Phoenix can get Best Actor, but we'll see what happens. But what do you guys think? What was your interpretation of how Joker ended? Not only how it ended, but how it played out. Was it all a fantasy? Can we really tell what's real and what's not? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, ring the bell for notifications. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a special thank you to all my incredible patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to check me out on Twitter or Instagram, or send something to my P.O. box? All the links are in the description. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.